I know. You're all so excited that this video is finally arriving.
I see you shiver with anticipation.
Oh boy, if you want to see the end of that scene, you better keep watching, because I'm not telling you when it's gonna arrive. Welcome to A Tough Act to Follow. I'm Preston, aka the Ploominator, and I will be your one-legged pirate chef here to whip up a meal of the best and brightest dishes from all of the Hollywood seas. And before I get started, I want to make sure that everyone's getting the full experience of the Ploomination, so be sure to share, like, and subscribe. And check me out on Patreon for even more content. Links below. And I have to admit that while sometimes I do choose the best actors and actresses, I can always use a little help. So thanks to Sweetie Jim Jim for the suggestion of this week's episode, because there is literally no one in the world who can give the same performances as Tim Curry. And when you break down some of his best moments, it's not hard to see why he's so beloved and so treasured, and ultimately so unforgettable as a performer. I know that there's a lot I could say here to set up expectations or build a sense of high praise, but really nothing I can say will do justice to the pure power of the performances of Tim Curry. A tough act to follow. So we all know that Tim is phenomenal, and it's not hard to see why when you dive into his performances. He's an absolute master of camp. Camp is a form of highly exaggerated acting that's best used in very farcical comedies, something that Tim finds himself in often. And when you watch him racing around the set, it's easy to see why he's able to make those movies so fun to watch.
I expect you to believe it. You killed the cook. She used to be your cook, and she informed on you to Mr. Body. You made one fatal mistake. Sitting here at dinner, Mrs. Peacock told us that she was eating one of her favorite recipes. And monkey's brains, though popular in Cantonese cuisine, are not often to be found in Washington, D.C. Colonel Mustard, when we saw the motorist at the front door, you took the key to the weapons cupboard out of my pocket. Then you suggested that we all split up.
But good camp, like most acting styles, has to have levels. It can't just all be big and wild the entire time, and Tim knows this too. He knows that he can't always be the biggest personality in the room, and he occasionally has to play the straight man to the wilder personalities. And it really does add to his comedy when he finally does get those big moments, because he's basically been stoic and straight the whole time.
He's got new injuries. Well, he's certainly dead now. Why would anyone want to kill him twice?
Seems so unnecessary.
Well, that's what we call overkill. What we call psychotic.
Unless he wasn't dead before.
What's the difference?
That's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out who killed him and where and with what.
There's no need to shout.
I'm not shouting. All right, I am. I'm shouting.
And his ability to give a serious and grounded performance in an otherwise bonkers movie really helps Tim take characters and make them the highlight of some of the less stellar movies that he's been in. If you look across his filmography, there are dozens of examples where the movie is clearly worth a watch just to watch Tim strut his stuff and earn his moments.
And talk with me.
Sit. Here.
Yes.
I prefer to stand.
Silence!
Or stand. As you wish. It is enough that we are alone together. Just the two of us.
And if you haven't guessed it before, there is something about Tim's performances that just has to be watched, even when the movie around him might be a disaster. I can safely say that Tim is the best part of nearly every movie that I put on my essential picks today, and it's because he knows how to keep the movie watchable even through clunky dialogue and weird choices.
Mother Night. Fold your dark arms about me. Protect me in your black embrace. I sit alone, an impotent exile, whilst this force, this presence, returns to torment me.
And how does Tim do this? Well, he just accepts the reality of the movie he's in. You often see actors trying to overcome the absurdity, but Tim embraces it. He just knows that not every story is going to be the next big Oscar-winning powerhouse, and he owns that. And because of that, the movies are just way more fun to watch.
Upstage, lads! This is my only number. Now take Sir Francis Drake. The Spanish all despise him, but to the British he's a hero and they idolize him. It's how you look at buccaneers that makes them bad or good. And I see us as members of a noble brotherhood. Hup!
Plus, there's Tim's skill with his voice. If you've followed his career, you know that he's been a prominent member of the animated community, and that's because he's got great vocal control. His voice is such a charming and compelling thing that when he speaks, or in this case sings, we have no choice but to listen.
The stars will be our compass wherever we may roam, and our mates will always be just like a family. And though we may put into port, the sea is always home.
But let it be known that Tim is not all fun and games. All these things he does do have darker sides to them, and whether it's camp, vocal control, or his ability to keep the material interesting and fun, he can do it when he's even the worst of characters and someone we shouldn't like.
Aren't you going to say hello? Oh, come on, bucko.
I'm not supposed to take stuff from strangers. My dad said so.
Very wise of your dad, Georgie. Very wise indeed. Without this?
My goats!
Exactly. Oh, yes. They float.
And so when it comes to the roles Tim occupies in the movies he's a part of, it's no wonder that we love him so much. To be honest, there are a lot of movies where Tim is the antagonist or a mostly absent character, and even if you're supposed to hate him, when he finally does pop up, we just get excited because we know it's going to be a great performance and a fun moment within a movie no matter what.
Is everything all right?
Yes. Last chance, Tasha. Get out before it gets dark tonight. You're too old to stop me. You're all too old.
No, Mike Hammond, if you see...
Excuse me, sir. Do you have Prince Albert in a can? You do? Well, you better let the poor guy out.
And all these things are really the result of one thing. Tim is an icon. I mean, even when you can't name a movie he's been in, you just kind of know him. You just have this sense of who he is and what he brings to the roles he plays. And so Tim has this reputation and legacy as a titan of cinema.
Don't get strung out by the way I look. Don't judge a book by its cover. I'm not much of a man by the light of day, but by night I'm one hell of a lover. I'm just a sweet transvestite from transsexual Transylvania.
But he's not just campy and zany as a result of his reputation. Tim still does the work and makes those characters completely three-dimensional. He's grounded in something remarkable, and it ultimately results in the characters not only being memorable or fun the first time around, but every time thereafter.
'Cause I've seen blue skies through the tears in my eyes, and I realize I'm going home.
And Tim is just a master of his craft, and there is so much about his roles that speak for themselves, and it helps keep Tim in the popular culture even after we haven't seen him for a while. So why do we like Tim Curry? 1. Tim is campy. Tim has an understanding that not everything he does has to be serious or even genuine. Sometimes movies just need to be fun, and Tim is one of the best personalities at making that camp work for both the movies and his characters. 2. Tim lifts the material. Not every movie is going to be the greatest movie ever made, but Tim manages to keep the sense of fun and appeal throughout every performance and ultimately earns his time on screen and makes the movie better as a result. 3. Tim has a fantastic voice. Both speaking and singing allows Tim to showcase one of the best tools in his toolbox, his voice. And because of this, he can play a wide variety of characters with the same believability and make those roles that much better. 4. Tim knows when to turn. Tim has a strong understanding of how the roles he plays fits into the larger narrative, and especially when he plays villains, he knows that camp doesn't always just mean silly. By making the same tools that make him funny, serious, or even sinister, it gives Tim greater range and therefore greater longevity. 5. Tim is an icon. Because Tim has put in decades of great work, he has earned a status that is not soon to fade. And it started very early in his career. From the moment he burst onto the screen and refused to be tied down, he's made himself bigger than we could ever imagine and has given himself a reputation to match. There is quite frankly no one else in the world who can do what Tim Curry can do. He's a one-of-a-kind performer, and if you want a great Tim Curry performance, then you have to go to the source. So let me help you out and find some of the best places to start. These are my 5 essential Tim Curry performances. 1. Clue. This comedic murder mystery based on the popular board game is a fun and zany experience. Tim leads a cast of stellar comedians, and the results, including its multiple endings, really help make the movie keep its sense of both mystery and fun. 2. Legend. This fantasy adventure doesn't hold up as well as some of its contemporaries, but Tim is easily the best part of the film. His work as the villainous darkness is full of scenery-chewing villainy, and it will not be something easily forgotten. 3. Muppet Treasure Island. This movie musical creates a really family-friendly take on the classic story. Tim's performance as Long John Silver grounds the rest of the mostly Muppet cast in a higher stakes and very real story while still allowing it to be fun. 4. It. This miniseries based on Stephen King's Monsters novel is not technically a movie, but it works as one. It also wouldn't be nearly as iconic without Tim's performance as the titular It. He balances sinister and silly in a way that never pushes one so far as to lose the other, and it is easily the best part of the whole thing. 5. The Rocky Horror Picture Show. This cult musical is a must-see experience, and if you can see it in a movie theater surrounded by people, then it's even better. Tim is unforgettable as Dr. Frankenfurter, and the music will stick with you long after the credits have rolled. And that is why Tim Curry is a tough act to. Thanks for watching, and thanks again Sweetie Jim Jim for suggesting Tim Curry. What are your favorite of his movies? Are there any movies out there that you think I should have mentioned? Who else do you hope to see in the coming months? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like this video, please give it a like. If you do, I'll show you my secret creation. If you have friends who love Tim, share this video with them. To help me keep making this series, check me out on Patreon. If you do, I'll give you a cool shout out. Thanks Mom and Dad, and to ensure you never miss a tough act to follow, one to watch, or welcome to the party pal, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, and as I always say, thanks for taking the time to get Ploominated.